You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you're available for. You can want something really, really deeply, be truly passionate about it, journal on it, visualize it, create vision boards around it. But the fact that you even desire it at that level and that you're focused on it with your mind doesn't necessarily mean that you are able to receive it. This is a podcast around manifestation, and it might not be how you normally look at manifestation and the things that you've heard and the secrets that we've been taught help us get what we want in life. Let's talk about frequency and how your frequency determines what you manifest. Welcome to the Practical Mystic podcast, where universal wisdom meets modern life. Today we're talking about manifestation and why it's not actually changing anything, why you're not seeing what you desire show up in your world. Now, this is all about frequency and vibration. So let's liken it to a radio station. If you want to be listening to a different radio station, you have to change the frequency in order to receive the radio station of the new station that you want to listen to, right? We have to tune up or down, depending on where it is on the spectrum of that frequency. So if you truly desire something, let's say money, for example, right? Say you want some money. In order to even want it, you have to believe somewhere in your system that you don't have it already. And you can say, yeah, Nick, but it's not in my bank account. I definitely don't have it. And everything that we focus on shows up. So when we focus on wanting money, we're actually more tuned into the fact that we don't have it than we are as if it's already here. How much energy do you put into worrying about not having money versus how it's going to feel when you have it? The one thing about desire and wanting something to show up is that you'll start to see that you get a bit jealous of it happening to other people. You notice when somebody's got the flashy car that you want or seems to be so stress-free around money. They spend it freely and they don't stress about it. You might want to be thinking about, what's money going to give me? I'm going to be able to live in a certain type of house or have certain things. Now, we've been taught that we focus on the things that we want to have money show up as, right? Like the car or the house, etc. But there's a step before that. And the step before that is noticing, first of all, where is your jealousy or where is your envy? Because if you're noticing something that you don't have and you feel that twinge of uncomfortableness or envy or jealousy, it means it's available to you. It's in your field of possibility. That there's a part of you that actually has one eye on that thing that you desire already. And you know that because you want it. And when you see someone else have it, it feels a bit uncomfortable. How you can use that as your superpower is to remind yourself, yes, it's in my field of possibility. It's there for me. And then this part of it is, how do I align my energy to receive it? We are manifesting at every second of the day. We're just not always manifesting what we want. We're often manifesting what we don't want. I always joke and say the universe can't hear don't, can't, not, shouldn't. All they are focused on is the thing that you are focused on, right? So if we take example that, say you want a car, then what we're focused on energetically is the absence of the car. If we change that focus to be how you're going to feel driving that car, how it's going to be when you have it, what's going to change about your life, and you start living in that vibration of it already happening. And it sounds easier said than done, and we can sometimes think we are doing it because we are dreaming about how it's going to feel to have the car. But it's beyond just the car. It's how are you going to feel at that vibration in every aspect of your life. Because when you're choosing a different radio station, you're not just choosing different songs, you're choosing different ads, you're choosing different hosts, different people show up, you hear different things. If you're listening to a political radio station versus, say, a techno station, you're going to hear two very different things, right? They're going to be targeted at different audiences, they're going to have ads that target different audiences, etc. Because you are probably not in both of those frequencies at the same time. You might be. But let's just go with this example. So if I want to go from this political talkback radio station to a new modern radio station, what do I have to do? Who do I have to be to hold this frequency versus this frequency? What else will show up for you when you believe you have the thing that you want? So what will show up for you when you have the car? Will you still be going to work? Will you still be driving the kids around? Will you still be going shopping? Will you just be doing it in that car? And how will it feel to be shopping, running errands, driving to work in the new car versus how you do those things now? And so what is it that you're actually wanting to align to? Is it freedom and ease of getting around? Is it how you'll look in that flashy car? Is it how you'll feel driving this car? What's motivating your desire? Status, want, ease, freedom. It could be all of those things, right? No one is better or worse, but you have to focus in on how that car is going to make you feel in your life and live from that vibration that it's already happened. So you've already tuned up to the new radio station. And so when you're now hearing the new songs and the new ads, you'll probably find something else to desire. There's probably something beyond that. It might be then, oh, okay, I want that house. I want to live in that suburb. I want to live in that area, whatever it is. So you'll then be focused on the next thing to manifest and create. None of that's wrong. None of it's wrong at all. We have to understand that we are in a perpetual state of desiring and manifesting. But what you're actually desiring and manifesting, unbeknownst to you, is your current situation. The reality that's showing up for you is built on your belief systems, your experiences, and how you perceive the world around you. So if you are perceiving the world around you as not having enough money, not having the nice car that you want, not living where you want to be living, all of your energy and attention is going into the reality that you are currently in. And so you can't live in this reality and the new reality at the same time. You cannot listen to two radio stations at the same time. And what can be tricky about this is that we don't want to lose anything. Our ego mind hates losing, right? So we're scared to take the leap into the higher frequency because it's unknown. And the mind goes, oh my God, what if I lose what I already have and it's worse, or I don't get the thing that I want? And so we hold ourselves back unconsciously in the old radio station while we don't want to risk losing what we already have in order to get something that we actually want. And so I want to ask you this: can you have both? Can you live in a poverty mindset and a wealthy mindset at the same time? Can you be driving an old beat up lemon and a Ferrari at the same time? You can't. You can only drive one vehicle at a time in this 3D reality, right? So you just have to choose which reality you want to live in. You can stay stuck in the past, in the old ways of being, or you can move into, this is how I want to be living. And even if the Ferrari hasn't shown up yet, what do you imagine yourself being, feeling, having, living, experiencing when that Ferrari does show up? A story a while ago is that I had this vision about us winning a lottery of a house. And it felt so clear, this vision, like I was like, yeah, I feel like I can actually lean into receiving this house. And the closer it got to the draw date, the further away it felt for me, because I wasn't actually prepared to give up my life, my friends, my work, my situation, in order to go and live in this house. Now, it might have been 100 times better than where I'm living now. I don't know. But I wasn't actually willing to move away from everything I know here to receive that house in another state. And I often think about when I buy a lottery ticket, right? I think, oh, can I receive that $5 million? And immediately I look at how I'm going to spend it, who I'm going to share it with, how that's going to show up in my world. And so before I've even received the money, I've given it away. And it's not to say that you wouldn't do those things if you received the money. But I think why it doesn't show up for me yet anyway is that I haven't quite aligned myself into who am I when I receive it, and what am I willing to release in order to have it. Now, this is something I play with every day. It's something that clients play with every day. But when we are really aligned with something that is meant for us, it never passes us by. And maybe winning Tatsotto is not in my path. I don't know, right? I don't even really get jealous when other people win it. So it's not high on my list of priorities. But if it's meant for me, I want to be open to receiving it. If it's meant to be, I don't want to reject it by immediately dispersing the energy. So if you received that Ferrari or that flash car or whatever it is that you're desiring, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to be in it? And are you prepared to give up your life now for it? Are you ready to part with your car, your current car, for example? Are you ready to part with the people and their opinions of you driving this new car? Because how we envision or assume our family and friends are going to respond to us from that state also gets in the way of the manifestation. Because part of us is then pulling back into, oh, who would I be if I had that? Now, in Australia, we have a thing called tall poppy syndrome, that it's not very cool to be successful. My American friends do not have this same belief system. They are, go for it, girl. You deserve every success. Have it, have at it, go for gold. But here we have I want to say like a rock pulling us back, or a rope pulling us back to go, well, if you have that, then you're going to be better than me. And it's not safe to be better than someone because they want to chop you down. Now, it's an awful, awful mentality. And I have no idea why it exists, because it's not really real in how the world works, but it's something in our social construct here that really prevents us from having what we want. It's part of the control. It's part of keeping us in line. It's part of us not getting too big for our boots so that we make sure we do the right thing. That's a whole nother podcast, but let's stay on the manifestation track. Another thing that's tricky with manifestation, and this experience happened to me a long time ago. I wanted a Mini Cooper. When they first came out, I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, I really, really want one of those. And I would see a cream a cream mini come into the car park at work quite often, a couple of times a week. And I was just so jealous and so excited every time I saw it. I was like, that is the car I want. I'd never wanted a car like that again. To me, cars were just like transportation, going from A to B. It didn't really matter what it was. As long as it worked and was reliable, I was super happy with it. But when the Mini came out, I was like, that is what I want. And so I started saving, and it became a bit of a thing. I was talking about it all the time. I'm going to save for this Mini. My husband even bought me a mini money box to save some money in. And as I was manifesting the money for this Mini, I would start to see cream minis everywhere. I barely saw another colour. Sometimes I would see a green one or a grey one go past, but I didn't notice them or get that buzz from it like I did with the cream mini. And then as I was getting closer to saving money for a deposit, I was seeing a cream mini almost daily. Every time I drove, everywhere I went, there was a cream mini. And as I got closer and closer to being able to afford the deposit for the mini, I was like, maybe I don't want a cream one anymore because they're everywhere. Everybody's got a cream mini. But the irony was, I was manifesting it so much, it became so much a part of my reality. I was seeing it everywhere I went. I envisioned every day driving to work in my Mini, how I was going to feel in it, seeing it in the car park at work. And I was becoming in line with that frequency. And I remember the week before we went to the dealership to buy it, I said to my husband, maybe I don't want a cream one. And he's like, well, what colour would you want? And I said, I don't know, but maybe something more unusual. Cream minis are everywhere. And we walked into the showroom and there was this cream mini. And my heart just like raced. There were all these other colours in the showroom, but the minute I saw that cream mini, I was like, there she is. There she is. And it came into my physical reality. And this probably took over 12 months to manifest my Mini. But why I'm sharing that story with you is that I had to change into somebody who could afford it, who could live it, who wanted it so much that I almost didn't care for it by the end of it. It was like, oh, maybe I don't even want that anymore, right? But because it was meant for me, because I had been manifesting it, because I had been dreaming about it, saving for it, I'd taken steps towards getting finance, all of those things, I was doing the steps, I was taking action on my desire. And when it showed up, it was so effortless and so easy that I almost let it pass me by because I was like, oh, maybe I want a blue one. And that can happen, right? As we get closer to the frequency of receiving the thing that we want, we often bypass it by diverting our attention into the next thing before we've even received what it is that we want. I see this happen with people with trying to find partners, right? They have a long list of this dream person and they get really close. They might go through a few false starts with people. They think they've got everything on the list, but it's not quite. They go back, they re-look at the list, and then this person shows up who's pretty much perfect to their list, right? And then they go out of their way to sabotage it unconsciously, sometimes consciously, because they're not actually ready to sit in a relationship at that level of what they desire. They're not willing to let go of their old programming, their old fears, their old beliefs in order to really truly sit with this partner that they have manifested that they desire. They start nitpicking over tiny little things, or they find fault in everything. Oh, see, it's not as perfect as I thought it was. This happens all the time. Just as we are about to get what we want, we come off the desire. We come off the frequency. It's like a glass ceiling. And in The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, he talks about that being an upper limiting problem and how just as we're about to get what we want, we hit like a glass ceiling and we can't fully embrace it all. We can't actually go past that ceiling. And so we sabotage unconsciously what it is that we are manifesting, what we desire. And this happens a million times a day, right? Like just when you think you're going to get what you want, we get distracted, we get diverted, we don't stay the course. It's like choosing a different color mini. Oh, here, maybe I want a blue one. Maybe the cream one's too popular. There's too many of them. Won't be special enough. If I get that person in my life, it won't be special enough. When really it's who are we? Who do we have to be in order to step into being in that relationship, owning that car, having that thing that we want, winning the money. Things change. The way people perceive you changes. Yeah. And same thing when we manifested the house that we live in, a friend of mine at the time said, oh, you're getting everything you want. You're like the princess in the castle. And they said it in a really derogatory kind of way that made me feel, oh, maybe I'm going too above my station. Maybe I don't deserve that house. And was I going to drop my frequency and not buy the house because I worried what people thought of me? I had a wobble, for sure. But I didn't let it stand in my way. And I kept focused on what I wanted. But I easily get derailed by people's comments. Maybe you do too. Trying to fit in with their vibration instead of holding my own vibration. And there's a concept of nothing that's meant for you will pass you by, right? And I truly believe that if something is meant for you, it will not pass you by. The contradiction to that is that we hand over our power of manifestation and creating our life to fate, to, oh, well, if it's meant to be, it'll come. If it's not, it won't. And there is an element of that, but there's also an element of what am I going to do to be able to receive it? If there's something that you truly want to have happen, if there's a way of being or living or existing that you want to have, then you have to take action on it. You have to take one small step towards your dreams every day. Otherwise, you're never going to get them. You can't be a passive bystander in your own life. You have to be a participant. You are creating everything every minute of the day. The only reason the room you're sitting in is your reality right now is because you have chosen it to be your reality. If you want to be sitting in a different room, you have to do something to change that. Physically, energetically, emotionally, all of it. And so you cannot be in two states of being at the same time. If you want something better, you have to be better. If you want a partner that's respectful, you have to be respectful. If you want a new car, you have to let go of the old way of being. What is it that you actually desire? What is it you're willing to do in order to have it and receive it? And the minute you decide, the minute you go, yes, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to start working towards, you start the process of bringing it into reality. When I started putting my gold coins in my money box, when I started to seriously consider saving for the mini, I was taking actionable steps every day, every week to get to where I wanted to go. I see this with people who are manifesting a partner. They say to me, I want someone to be handsome and respectful and give me what I want and always be there for me. Okay, so where are you handsome always there for somebody, respectful. Where do you give yourself and everybody else around you what they want? Right? It's not always feasible. That's not how we are in relation with other people. It has to be deeper than that. It's not about what others can give you. It's not what the universe can give you. I heard somebody say once, the universe is not your bitch. I think it was Gabby Bernstein. I was like, yeah, it's not about doing your bidding for you. What are you going to do in order to receive it and create it and have it? Manifestation's a two-way street. Between the fifth dimensional, all possibility, and bringing it through the fourth of time, space, and seeing it show up here in 3D. Now, because we live in a dense world, it does take some time from idea to physicality. Sometimes it does take some time. Because this is a denser reality, right? It's like trying to get air to meet rock. So it takes some time to come down here. We can have an aha, and it's like a vertical alignment of yes. And then we have to wait for the x-axis for the time to catch up, for it to show up here in the physical. So be patient too a little bit with your desires, because they have to shift into this physical density. And sometimes things show up so fast your head spins, right? And all of a sudden you've gone and all these doors opened, and you've gone from here to here in a heartbeat, and without even any conscious awareness of it. And that's how it usually shows up, right? You see this with new jobs all the time. We're so focused on hating the job that we're in, and we want a new job. And the minute we start to actually shift into this receiving of the new job, all of a sudden we've found a job, had the interview, got the job, moved into this whole new state of beingness. And it can happen within days or weeks sometimes. When we're finally in alignment with something, it's like all the doors just open. Because you are in a frequency of receiving that you desire. So we have to switch from what I don't want to what I do want. What am I willing to let go of in order to receive what I would desire? If you want to change your radio station, you have to let go of the old radio station. This is exactly the kind of work we do in the quick shift, where you don't have to understand it intellectually, but you experience it in real time. So if you're ready to experience that, the link will be in the show notes. And if this episode has resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Shift your state, change your story, and I'll meet you there.